Before starting, I would like to thank Eagle Eye Official for take membership of my channel. The story begins and we see a man, which is falling down. And he hears a voice telling him to wake up. You're going to die. And as soon as the man hears that voice, his eyes open. And he becomes very surprised. And he thinks, am I going to die? Then we see that someone has tied him above the bed. And that man is wondering, what is going on here? Then he starts remembering his memory. And he is very surprised. What kind of memories are these? That boy has been reincarnated in someone else's body. But then someone opens the door at that place and comes inside. And she is a half-demon girl. And the demon girl says to the boy, have you finally woken up? And as soon as the boy sees that demon girl, he gets very nervous, and he is thinking, Beichen, I have clearly traveled through time. Then that demon girl starts climbing on the bed. And she is saying to Beichen, you have been unconscious for several days. Hong Shili is really worried about you. Then that demon girl sits on Beichen. And she says to Beichen, now you can wake up on your own. And Beichen is thinking, I've encountered a big problem as well. Then that demon girl is about to do something with Beichen. And she is telling Beichen, that's great. Your heart suddenly started beating so fast. Are you feeling scared? And that demon girl has placed her big watermelons on Beichen's chest. And she is laughing. And Beichen is thinking, oh no, I encountered a lunatic. Then that demon girl says to Beichen, although people in Azura sect lose their lives every day. But, I'll protect you. And won't let other people from the Azura sect kill you. Then the demon girl placed her boobs very forcefully on Beichen. Due to which blood starts coming from Beichen's mouth. And the demon girl starts licking the blood that came out of Beichen's mouth. And she says to Beichen, you're the first who saw me naked, and you also took away my first kiss. And Beichen has lost hope. And he's thinking, no, am I going to die just after arriving? But then a miracle happens. And Beichen hears someone's voice. And that thing says, the Holy Maiden system is currently binding. It is detected that the host is in imminent danger. Should the forced rescue function be activated? And as soon as Beichen hears the sound of the system, a smile appears on his face. And he becomes happy. Then he is thinking, it's finally here. The essential equipment for time traveler's system daddy, start. And we see that the demon girl is lying on top of Beichen. And she is licking Beichen. Then Beichen says to that demon girl, hey, fucking bitch. And as soon as she hears demon girl, she gets shocked. Then Beichen says to that demon girl, tit for tat, I'll repay you double, for everything you've done to me. And that demon girl gets surprised, hearing Beichen's words. And then Beichen disappears from that place. But while leaving, he says to the demon girl, bitch, you just wait for me to come back. And that demon girl gets very shocked that how did Beichen disappear from this place? But that demon girl is smiling, and she is saying, surprisingly, you actually have such methods. Hongxiu is becoming more and more interested in you, darling. After this, we see a scene from another location, and Beichen gets teleported to this place. And he is thinking, as expected of the system, the injuries have completely healed. But as soon as Beichen looks in front, there is a beautiful girl in front of him, which is naked. And Beichen is above him. Looks like the girl was taking a bath. And Beichen was teleported in his bathtub at this time, due to which the girl's bathtub breaks. And Beichen gets on top of her. And as soon as Beichen realizes this, so he gets very nervous. And he's wondering, why is this happening again? And we see the girl getting pissed off. And Beichen understands by looking at her face that her condition is going to get worse. And he is saying to that girl, if I say, this is a misunderstanding, you believe me? Just then the girl places her hand on Beichen's chest. And she uses wind magic, due to which she throws Beichen very far. And Beichen breaks the roof and starts falling away. And Beichen is thinking, system, you are playing with me. But Beichen does not feel even a little pain, he has fallen from that high. But still nothing happens to him. And seeing this, Gu Beichen also becomes very surprised. How is he safe? So the system tells Gu Beichen, it's because you have acquired some of the abilities of the saints of the Azura sect, Hongsali. And Gu Beichen gets surprised after listening to the system. But doesn't he understand anything? So Gu Beichen asks the system, what does it mean? So the system tells Gu Beichen, the Holy Maiden system will help the host acquire the abilities of the destined saints. The only condition is that the host needs to make the Saintess sincerely addresses you with an affectionate nickname. And Gu Beichen starts looking at the profile of that demon girl. Name, Hong Zil. Progress, first stage. Ability attained, 20%. And Gu Beichen is saying, isn't it that bitch, right? Also, what affectionate nickname does that bitch gave me? So the system tells Gu Beichen, and he says it's darling. And as soon as Gu Beichen hears this, he becomes very angry. And he is saying angrily, she drinks my blood, pierces my chest, what is this? Flirting? And then that girl starts coming to that place. And she is saying to Gu Beichen, after taking my attack head on, like a swirling wind dispersing clouds, yet emerged completely unharmed. And Gu Beichen is thinking, oops, I was so happy that. Forgot that the current situation isn't right now. Then the girl wears clothes and comes in front of Gu Beichen. And that girl also has a sword in her hand. And she is telling Gu Beichen, no wonder you exude such confidence without a trace of fear. You dare to attack me, chief of the 6 bureaus. And as soon as Gu Beichen hears this, he becomes very surprised. And he is wondering, what are these 6 bureaus? Then she gets ready to attack with the sword. And he attacks Gu Beichen. And Gu Beichen is asking the girl to stop. And he is saying, wait. This is a misunderstanding. But that girl does not want to listen to anything from Gu Beichen. And she is repeatedly attacking Gu Beichen. And Gu Beichen is stopping the attack of that girl with great difficulty. And that girl is saying to Gu Beichen, misunderstanding. Look at my body. You actually dare to say it's a misunderstanding. You thief, go to hell. And that girl's sword is about to hit Gu Beichen's neck, but then something happens due to which the girl gets surprised. And we see that Gu Beichen disappears from that place. And that girl also becomes very surprised. How can Gu Beichen disappear from this place? Then we see another place, which looks like it is a modern place. And Gu Beichen gets teleported to this place. Then as soon as Gu Beichen opens his eyes, he becomes very surprised. But first, he looks at himself. Is he okay? And he sees that he is absolutely safe. Then when he looks ahead, he is very surprised, because he is in a different place. Then Gu Beichen hears the voice of the system, and the system says to Gu Beichen, welcome to the system space, host. I am the guide of the Holy Maiden system, Mo Shogun. So I unilaterally pulled the host into the system space, please forgive me. But Gu Beichen is the first to take a sigh of relief. Then he says to the system, no problem, after all, it was you who saved me. Can you introduce to me the functions of the system space? Is it similar to the main deity's space? And the system tells Gu Beichen, the system space is an infinite space exclusive to you. You can rest and entertain here, as well as enhance your abilities. Because the host only gains abilities from the Saintess. If you want to use the ability like an arm and a finger, you need to exercise. And Gu Beichen says, so that's how it is, no wonder, after I obtained the ability of Hongxiu, it's still impossible to beat that woman. And the system tells Gu Beichen, after completing various tasks, you can get a chance to draw a lottery, including items related to the Saintess with a higher probability of obtaining it. And Gu Beichen is surprised to hear this and he says, it's a card-drawing game, I understand. Then Gu Beichen asks the system, I can draw a lottery now, right? So the system says, the host currently has 5 chances for the lottery. Do you want to draw a single draw or a 5 consecutive draw? Of course, 1 draw at a time. Single draw for a miracle. Then as soon as Gu Beichen draws, an ordinary ball is drawn, due to which Gu Beichen gets disappointed. And he says angrily, fuck, why are there still empty one? And the system tells Gu Beichen, occasionally encountering an empty one is understandable. And Gu Beichen draws again, and this time an ordinary ball. Body pill. comes out, and Beichen draws again, but this time an empty ball comes out. But the third time he draws, Beichen gets a rare ball, 3 questions of cultivation. But Beichen is not happy with all these things. And he is very angry. And he is saying, what exactly are these? One last shot. I refuse to believe it won't yield anything. But then something happens, which Beichen had not expected. And a very wonderful thing comes out of his lucky draw. Which Beichen also feels, and he becomes very happy. And he says, it's finally here. And the system tells Beichen, legendary ball. Celestial in essence body. And Beichen takes that ball in his hands. And he is very happy. And he says, finally I got it. And the system also becomes happy and says to Beichen, congratulations to the host for obtaining the physics of the Saintess Honshio of the Azura sect. And the system says, the celestial in essence body enhances mastery of in spiritual energy, and understanding of in related principles. And Beichen asks the system, how do I lease this thing? So the system says, you just have to eat it. And as soon as Beichen hears this, he gets extremely shocked. Then the system tells the host, no need to worry. Each card has its own distinct flavor. For example, strawberry flavor, mineral water flavor, stinky tofu durian sandwich flavor. And Beichen is getting nervous after listening to the things of the system. And he is saying, the last flavor, I can't pretend I didn't hear. How could there be such a malicious taste in this world? But Beichen gathers courage and swallows that thing. And he says, this one has a creamy flavor. Then a lot of spiritual energy is coming out from Beichen's body. And Beichen is feeling that power, and he is saying, oh. I feel a surge of power welling up from deep within my body. And Beichen becomes very happy. And he is remembering that girl, who had messed with Beichen. And he was telling that girl, just wait for me. The next day, we see that a door is open. And Beichen comes out from that door. And he's checking out this place, and he's saying, although Shogong mentioned that coordinates have a slight deviation, however, the deviation is excessively large. I need to return to the city, and it'll take a minimum of 3 days. Then we see Hui. And posters of Beichen are put up at this place. And Beichen has now become a wanted one. Then we see Beichen who is chasing someone very fast. And Beichen is thinking, finally, I've been waiting for you. I wasn't in the city during these 3 days. The bastard who make me shoulder the blame for the flower thief, you scoundrel. And the man is surprised to see Beichen. And he is asking, who are you? So Beichen tells him, I am your uncle. And Beichen attacks him with Ein's spirit finger. And Beichen's attack hits his arm. And seeing Beichen's attack, the man runs away from that place. Then Beichen says to the system, Shogong. Didn't you say this world is an ordinary martial arts world, and there won't be any ghosts and monsters? Then the system says, this requires the host to go and find the truth. Find the reason behind the appearance of ghosts on Maisu Island, and you'll be rewarded with 10 lottery draws. And Beichen becomes happy after listening to the system, and he says, since there's a reward, I'll definitely find the reason for you. Then we see Enai Xiaoqian, and Majesty is with her. And Beichen is keeping an eye on them. And he's thinking, it's that female officer. What is even more surprising is that the real flower thief turns out to be an officer from the Yemen. Alright. Tonight, let me see the details of your ghostly background. Then we see that man, on whom Beichen attacked. And he is looking here and there. And he is thinking, no one is around, very good. But Beichen is watching that man secretly. And he is smiling at her. Then we see that the man has come flying to another place. And he is saying, in the middle of the night when no one is talking. Then someone asks him to come inside. Then he comes inside. And 3 people are sitting at that place. And a man said to him, I already said, if there's nothing important, don't come looking for us. Then the man says, I encountered someone last night, and he injured me. And as soon as the man says, his other companion comes behind him. And he says, how can this be? Then the man opens his clothes and shows them to them. and his shoulder is attacked by Beichen. And there is a hole on his shoulder. Seeing his other companion gets a little nervous. And he says, "It's actually true. Who is that person?" And the man says, "I am not sure as well." Then a man sitting in the middle says to the man, "Prince, what should we do now?" And his other partner says, "Will the plan continue?" Then the man says, "No. The plan to attack the dog emperor 10 days later continues. But I will let the organization send experts to support us." And Beichen is listening to all of them by touching them. And he is smiling. After this the scene shifts, and we see Westlake. And a soldier is saying, "Everyone, muster up all your energy to the max. Everyone, proceed together. You stay for a moment. Why haven't I seen you before?" And this happens to be Beichen. And Beichen turns back and says to that soldier, reporting, "General, I'm a newcomer who recently joined." And hearing this the general says, "Ah, I see. Welcome to the team." Then the general starts leaving that place, due to which Beichen becomes very happy. Next we see a man. The one who is speaking, Chief Nie, mentioned a surprise for me. Where is she and where did she go? Then Nie Xiaoqian comes to that place, and she has brought something with her. And she is saying, "Sorry, Your Majesty, for keeping you waiting." Then Nie Xiaoqian places that thing on a table. Who is surprised to see Majesty? And they are saying, "Oh, what's in here?" The mist feels cool. Is it ice? And Nie Xiaoqian says to Majesty, "Your Majesty, please take a look." Then Nie Xiaoqian opens that thing. And a lot of steam is coming out from inside it. Then we see that there is something in a jar, and Nie Xiaoqian is telling Majesty, "Your Majesty, this is a glass wine, she's a glass cup." It. And the minister is saying, "Your Majesty, this is actually colored glaze? How can it be? So crystal clear and translucent." Then His Majesty says, "Chief Nie, quickly tell me, where did you get it from?" And Nie Xiaoqian says, "Before that, allow me to keep you in suspense, Your Majesty. Aren't you curious about what's inside the glass jug?" Then Majesty says, "Chief Nie's words as well. Could it be that the thing in this glass is the jug fine wine?" And Nie Xiaoqian says, "No, it's not a wine." Then Majesty says, "What could it be then?" And Nie Xiaoqian says, "Your Majesty will know once you taste it." And Majesty becomes happy after hearing this. And he is saying, "Interesting, it's actually emitting bubbles continuously." And Majesty drinks that drink. But then Majesty feels a little strange. And seeing this the minister gets nervous, and he says, "Your Majesty, what's wrong with you?" Bold Nie Xiaoqian. What did you give His Majesty to drink? But Nie Xiaoqian tells the minister, "Don't panic." We then see Majesty, who is very happy after drinking that drink. And he is saying, "It is sweet and delicious, with a refreshing taste, and a kind of subtle and wonderful bubbles jumping in the mouth. This feeling really makes me happy." "Nyabutu, what exactly is this, either water nor wine?" Then Nie Xiaoqian says, "Your Majesty, this is called sparkling water." And Majesty says, "Sparkling water? That name is very fitting." And Nie Xiaoqian says, "This sparkling water actually came from the Shen family in the Guardian Wing City just these past few days, and then some movement starts happening inside the palace. And the soldiers are saying that this place has been attacked. And we have to protect the Majesty." Then we see that a man has attacked that place. And some soldiers are killed and thrown inside the hall. Seeing which they all get surprised. Then Nie Xiaoqian and the minister come forward to protect Majesty. But someone is telling Her Majesty that we are meeting again. And the same person comes to that place, to whom those two people were telling what they should do now. Then the man is smiling. And as soon as His Majesty sees that man, he becomes very surprised, and he says, "Nu Chi-e, how is it possible that you're still alive?" And Majesty remembers about his past. And he recalls that Nu Chi-e was killed in front of him. But now he is back alive again. And we see that Nie Xiaoqian has attacked that man, that too with wind magic. And we see that the minister has also attacked. But Nu Chi does not care about all these things. And he takes the attack of both of them on himself. And both of them get very surprised, because their attacks do not seem to have any effect on Nu Chi. Then Nu Chi is telling them, "You mortals stand no chance against divine beings." Then Nu Chi pushes both of them away very easily, due to which both of them get injured. Then Nu Chi holds Majesty's neck, and he is saying, "Don't worry. Won't kill you. Only with you alive can I restore the nation of Beichen." And Majesty is very nervous, and sweat is falling from his forehead. And seeing this, Nu Chi makes me very happy. And he is saying, "I am a divine being, a supernatural being with boundless power. Monsters and ghost dash will soon make their appearance in the whole world. Will soon appear in the whole world. It's not my mistake, the Chinese text is also the same in 3 boxes. Welcome back, Nu Chi." And Nu Chi is saying, I'm still alive." And Nu Chi is laughing loudly. And he is very happy that he is still alive. And seeing his happiness, that person starts getting angry. Then that person attacks Nu Chi. And tell him, "Recognize the current situation. Idiot! You are already dead. I used magic to bring your soul back to the mortal realm." Then Nu Chi starts remembering how he died? And Nu Chi says, "That's right. I was beheaded by that bitch Yang Jinzhong." Then that person says to Nu Chi, "Nu Chi, now you have a chance to live another life. Don't you want revenge? Revenge for your country. Revenge for your people." And hearing this, Nu Chi now wants to take revenge. And that person again says to Nu Chi, "For yourself, seek revenge." And after listening to his words, Nu Chi now wants to take revenge. And he becomes very angry, and due to his anger a wave of water is formed at that place, due to which the person gets wet. And he becomes very angry. And he again attacks Nu Chi, and tells him, "You damn bastard, stop acting crazy here." And due to his attack, Nu Chi falls very far. Then that person tells Nu Chi, "Yang Jinzhong has already gone into the mausoleum. The current emperor is the son of the former emperor, Ming Guangjian. Now if you want revenge, Ming Guangjian is your target. At the same time, your hopes for the restoration of the country are placed on Ming Guangjian." Then Nu Chi says, "I know that the father's debt must be repaid by the son, but I don't understand why the hopes of restoration of the country are used in Ming Guangjian. Also, I still don't know the senior's name, and why does the senior want to help me?" And that person says, "The reason behind helping you, you'll know later. And I am the heart guardian of the Destiny organization." Then he takes off his mask, and it's a demon fox. And its name is Chinchio. And Nu Chi gets very surprised to see this, and he says, "A fox demon? Rumored monsters really exist? The fairy tales which exist among the people are actually not fictitious." Then that demon fox says, "This world is not as simple as it seems. Before seeking Ming Guangjian, you still need some help. Take this." And the fox demon gives a burning thing to Nu Chi. Nu Chi is surprised to see this. And he asks, "What is this thing?" So we see that something very dangerous comes out of that thing. Nu Chi gets very surprised after seeing this. Then she tells Fox Demon Nu Chi, "This is a ceremony of modified rhinoceros. The horn is ignited. The green smoke of it can bring back close one's soul in the world. Now in the present time." Then Nu Chi calls his friends. And his companions are saying, "The prince, we've completed the task of drowning everyone on the other 4 boats into the depth of the lake to become nourishment for the fish." And Nu Chi says, "Nil Call, Guardia, you all did an excellent job. Next year, the fish in West Lake will be very plump and delicious." And they say, "This is what we are supposed to do." Then Nu Chi says, "However, why do you still maintain your ghostly form? I've commanded you to choose a physical body for possession this time." And hearing this they get scared, and they say, "Prince, forgive us. The reason we choose to maintain our ghostly forms is because we believe it will better serve and aid you. However, if we possess the physical body, we will lose the mysterious power of spirits." And Nu Chi says, "Humph. It won't happen again. Here are 4 bodies, and you guys are 3, each of you can pick a body to possess. And we see that all of them are unconscious. And all those spirits are very happy. and they are now ready to take possession of his body. And Nu Qi is saying, "And I want to possess you and become the emperor of the Ming dynasty, Ming Wenjin." And Nu Qi is laughing a lot. And it is absorbing a lot of energy from his body. And he is saying, "When the time comes, the ghosts of the northern Qing royal family will possess your people with my assistance. In this way, my northern king will stealthily occupy your Ming dynasty, like a hawk taking over a magpie's nest, in order to achieve the goal of restoring the country." And Gu Beichen is acting unconscious, and he is thinking, the reason behind the appearance of ghosts and show the place is because of the Qingqiu's magic spell, which is organized by Destiny Organization, the rhinoceros illumination ceremony she mentioned. Then the system tells Gu Beichen, "The task is completed, congratulations to the host for getting 10 draws." And Gu Beichen becomes happy after hearing this and he says, "That's great. Now I need to save people. If I want to survive in this world, I still need to find an organization to collaborate with." Then Gu Beichen attacks those spirits, due to which those spirits start suffering a lot. And due to Gu Beichen's attack, Nu Qi goes away. And Majesty falls down. And he is very surprised. How did he survive? And he thanks Gu Beichen. Then Gu Beichen stands up and says, "The 5 consecutive shots targeting the shadow spirits serve as your commentary reward. No need to thank me." And Nu Qi points his finger at Gu Beichen, and tells him, "You're the one who injured Zhang San that day." So Gu Beichen says, "Bingo, got the correct answer, but there's no prize. Are you prepared to die?" And on hearing this, Nu Qi starts laughing loudly. He then opens a portal behind him, and says to Nu Qi, "The person who's gonna die is not me but you. Sorry to trouble you, Lord Guanyin." Then we see that someone is coming out of that portal. And he is a dangerous bird demon, and the bird demon says, "The air is truly refreshing. I haven't breathed such fresh air in many years." And Gu Beichen gets very surprised to see that bird demon. And now Gu Beichen becomes alert. And the bird demon attacks Gu Beichen. And seeing its power, Gu Beichen is thinking, this energy gives off a dangerous feeling, it's better not to approach it casually. Then the bird demon laughs and says, "Hee hee. You think it would be okay to avoid IDP? Old man's myriadine corrodes bones are not so easy to escape. Explode for me." And Gu Beichen gets surprised to see the attack of that bird demon. And we see that Gu Beichen gets surrounded by yellow fog. And the bird demon is laughing and saying, "Whether you're an acquired martial artist or an innate warrior, once you come into contact with the bone-corroding energy of this old man, you're destined to die without any bones left. The myriadine corrodes bones are a mixture of yin energy and neurotoxins in an 8:2 ratio, possessing both the corrosive power of yin energy and the paralyzing ability of neurotoxins. After extensive exposure to the myriadine corrodes bones, one will initially experience paralysis due to mobility. Subsequently, the yin energy slowly corrodes, and finally dies without any bones left. But we see that Gu Beichen is not affected by the attack of that bird demon. And coming out of the fog he is saying, "The clothes are all worn out and tattered, it's really dangerous." And the bird demon gets very shocked after seeing Gu Beichen safe and sound. And he is saying, "How could you be okay?" So in response Gu Beichen says, "Why, I also want to find the reason." And Gu Beichen does many attacks on that bird demon. And seeing Gu Beichen's attack, the bird demon is thinking, "So that's how it is. I never knew of yin energy without a master." And the bird demon is saying while stopping Gu Beichen's attack, "Your attacks are useless against this old man." But Gu Beichen is smiling, and he is saying, "It's probably Dokana, that's not certain." And Gu Beichen attacks the bird demon again. But this time Gu Beichen's attack rotates, and directly hits the bird demon, due to which blood starts coming out from the mouth of the bird demon. And Gu Beichen, moving towards that bird demon, is saying to him, "While you're not paying attention, I'll kill you." No wonder the main protagonists in manga give names to their moves and shout them out when using them, it's so cool. Birdie, what are yours? Thoughts about my domineering move name? And Gu Beichen has made a dangerous attack on that bird demon, due to which that bird demon is about to die. And the bird demon is saying, "You mortal who knows yin energy, don't go too far." And we see that a lot of energy is coming out from the bird demon, which Beichen also feels. And we see Nu Chi, who is very nervous, and he is saying, "No! Master Guan Guan, save me!" And Nu Chi's body now slowly starts melting. And the bird demon is saying, a large amount of Chi is rolled back and wrapped around the body surface to form armor, which greatly increases attack and defense, but this move has serious side effects. This state can only be sustained for 60 breaths. I must finish it quickly. And the bird demon again moves forward to attack Beichen. But it doesn't make any difference to Beichen. He is saying, "Birdie, you're doomed to lose from the moment you've drawn out such a large amount of energy." And we see that the attacks of both of them collide with each other. But the bird demon is very nervous. And he is saying, the timing is not correct. There should be 50-6 breaths left. And the bird demon is now screaming very loudly. And Beichen is telling him, the energy all over your body has been controlled by me. The body of celestial increases the mastery of attributes spiritual power. And let's end today's video. If you want to see next part, so please subscribe my channel. I will upload next part very soon. Till then, bye.